Hi, I'm Joyce Carter, Chair of the 2015 Conference on College Composition and Communication, the 4 Cs, which we're going to have in Tampa next year, March 18th through 21st. I'd like to take a couple of minutes to orient you to and to make a case for using the new type of peer-reviewed submission we have this year, the poster. We may not be that familiar with the poster and the poster session in the 4 Cs, but it's an extremely common type of format in many other disciplines, such as education, engineering, rhetoric, technical communication. And the inclusion of posters this year is very, very exciting because what it means the program is much larger. The program can accommodate many, many more people, particularly with projects that may not be quite complete. Posters are fantastic for works in progress, long projects that have sort of ongoing data collection or ongoing theories. Posters are a fantastic forum for sharing your ongoing research. But that's not to imply they're only for work in progress. Posters are also fantastic ways to show others the summative research that you've conducted, the findings, the theories, the hypotheses. Are fantastic on posters. Now, what exactly is a poster? Well, on the face of it, it's pretty straightforward. It's about a 3 by 2 foot poster with pictures, text, graphs on it, and it represents a concise, boiled down impression and summary of the work you've been working on. And in that respect, it stands alone. It's like a massive graphic in a journal. But it can be very interactive, as you can see with this example here, with note cards, flyers, handouts, sign-up sheets along the edges. So even when you're not there standing next to it, and you're only going to stand next to it a few times during next year's session, it still engages the viewers who are walking around drinking coffee and looking at the research that our members have done. But the second part is even more exciting, I think, about posters, because they create, when they're put in the context of a poster session, they create an extremely interactive forum. And I know it's paradoxical because you would say, well, how can posters be interactive and perhaps sessions with 3 papers be less interactive? Well, here's how, and it's paradoxical. Posters with the person standing next to them during a poster session are naturally like little forums, little symposia, press conferences, where people gather around as they walk around with their coffee during a break between sessions, and they talk to you about your work. And they ask you all sorts of questions. You get to learn what the audience wants to know, if you're working on this as a draft for an article, for example. You get to answer questions you hadn't thought about. You get to talk to lots of different types of people. And as you can see from these pictures I'm putting on the screen right here, it's a very social atmosphere. Now, the paradox is that the paper or the panel sometimes is not nearly this interactive. People file in, they listen to 3 people give their papers. There may be time for a question or 2, and then people file out. What I'm trying to do in this next year's conference is create as many spaces as possible and times as possible for you and the rest of our members to engage each other, to question each other. After all, it's a conference. You're supposed to confer, right? And I think the poster is an ideal kind of format that encourages conferring. So I'd like to encourage you to submit. A note about the posters. Posters are going through the normal peer review process, blind peer review. When you're accepted, you're on the program in the same way that a workshop or a roundtable or an individual panel is. So there you have it. There's our introduction to the poster as next year's new type of submission. I hope you'll consider submitting under this category, and we'll see you in Tampa next March.